Coming up this week,
Xana introduces us to our new spring athletes.
Gracie shows us how you can save big on college.
And we hear from a South Carolina man with a very inspirational story.
It's Friday, February 14th, and the buzz starts right now. Happy Friday, Fort Mill. I'm Adam.
And I'm Andy. With today being Valentine's Day, we had the perfect opportunity to incorporate this holiday into this week's intro.
Thank you, Michael, for putting that together for us. In Jacket Athletics, a few of our award-winning athletes are back for another spring season. Xana has the latest, the Buzz Sports Desk.
Thanks, guys. This week, our winter sports are still in action as many of our spring sports begin to prep for their season. I'm Xana, and this is the Buzz Sports. After dealing with the craziness of last week's weather, our basketball teams played on Monday, where both of our teams suffered a tough loss against Clover, with the girls' final score of 55-36 and the boys ending with 59-52. On Tuesday, our team went head-to-head with Northwestern, where our girls won 36-17, but unfortunately our boys were defeated 88-55. With the beginning of spring sports starting last week, I talked to our reigning state champs about how they're working towards another successful lacrosse season.
With the new coaching staff and a bunch of the upcoming players, we're just working on plays and how we're going to adapt to losing all the last year's seniors.
Being a leader, I need to set a good example for the sophomores and underclassmen and show them the discipline they need to do.
I'm looking forward to going out there with all the guys that I've been playing with since middle school.
I'm looking forward to winning another state championship.
Nice. I know we're all really excited to see our lacrosse team back out on the field, and their first game will be on February 25th. Tonight, it's one of the most anticipated games of the season as the basketball teams take on Nation Ford at home. Girls will start at 6:30 and boys at 8, so make sure to come and support all of our Jacket athletes. I'm Xana, reporting for the Buzz Sports.
Thanks, Xana. I can't believe spring sports is finally here, which means our last semester is just flying by.
Before we know it, many of us are going to be graduating from high school. Graduation is coming up quickly, and many of us seniors have already gotten the last of our acceptance letters.
Making a final decision can be very difficult, especially when it comes to tuition. So Grayson's here to put together a few points to help us save money.
While some people go straight to college after graduation, there's another option. A trade school or vocational school teaches skills directly related to specific jobs, usually ones that are hands-on trades. For example, if you want to be an electrician, you could attend a trade school to learn about wiring houses and businesses. You would take classes that are directly related to your profession. Your education from a four-year college will be broader and more comprehensive across multiple subjects, but you'll probably end up taking mandatory classes that may not even relate to your major. Your education from a trade school will provide the specific skills needed for specific jobs, usually at a more affordable price tag and in a more efficient time frame. According to National Center for Education Statistics, the average trade school degree costs $33,000, which compared to a $127,000 bachelor's degree means a savings of $94,000. Also, trade schools are usually completed in 2 years versus the usual 4 years in college. Although you don't generally receive a degree from a trade school, you do usually achieve certification in a specific field. From a trade school, you'll be ready to jump directly into a job. The trade-off for less money and less time are fewer social opportunities. Student life isn't a priority. As long as you're confident in your decision, it doesn't matter what you choose to do after graduation. Do what makes you happy. Reporting for The Buzz, I'm Grayson.
Making that big decision on where we'll be spending the next couple years of our lives can be very difficult, so thanks Grayson for reporting.
One of the highlights of February is Valentine's Day, a day all about relationships. Reese traveled to an event that highlights the importance of having healthy and safe relationships as teens.
We formed the foundation with a mission of stopping domestic violence, dating violence before it begins. Our daughter, Jamie Christine Kimball, lost her life to an abusive ex-boyfriend over 7 years ago. We want to talk to young guys about not turning to violence or control against young girls, and we want to teach young girls the early warning signs of an unhealthy or abusive relationship.
Although sparked by tragedy, the Jamie Kimball Foundation for Courage creates better environments for high school students in the Carolinas.
What's going on here at Harmony Hall is our Teens for Courage Summit to teach high school students about teen dating violence awareness, the warning signs, cyberbullying, and give them the skills to be advocates, to empower them to be able to take the messages back to their schools as well as back to their peers in their community.
Over 500 students, both girls and guys, attended the Teens for Courage event at Carowinds, and after 6 hours of speakers, activities, and group discussion, they went home with more than just a certificate.
My boyfriend was constantly controlling me, telling me what to do, and this helps me put a stop to all of it.
A guy can sometimes be abused too. I think it's not just girls it's not just guys doing and abusing. Sometimes it can be the guy who's getting abused and the girl who's the abuser.
Physical abuse and verbal abuse is very important to watch out for in a relationship, and you should always know the signs.
One group of students from Huff High School decided to join forces with the Jamie Kimball Foundation in order to form the very first Courage Club, bringing the lessons learned at events like these right into their own high school.
I really didn't anticipate when I started it that it would be anything bigger than with my own high school. And this year to be having all of this happen for us is really exciting, and it just makes me really happy that I'm going to be able to help other students be in the same situation.
While Fort Mill High School may not have one of the Courage Clubs right now, it isn't out of the question to start one up in the future. Reporting for The Buzz, I'm Reese.
The Jamie Kimball Foundation for Courage hosts local events throughout the year. You can find more information on their website.
Over the last few years, we've shown how the Queen City is a perfect place for artists to display their skills. And this week, I got to talk to an artist who uses the work of light and nature in her work.
Lights is a half-a-mile trail in the woods on the grounds of the Whitewater Center here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's inspired by science, nature, and technology. My name's Meredith Conley, and I'm the artist behind it. I created this experience inspired by nature. So everything that you see as you walk through the 15 installations that are here are inspired by things that I saw on the trail in this amazing space. That could be cocoons, the sound of rushing water, wasps' nests, the patterns on honeycombs, and something that I find beautiful that most people don't would be fungal formations like mushrooms. I've always just envisioned my sculptures kind of glowing. I think light's a really interesting material. It's kinetic, which means that it moves even though we can't see that with the naked eye, and it moves out and it kind of touches us. And I think that's really interesting when you're a viewer being part of the work in that way.
This is the last week and the lights will be on display at the Whitewater Center, so be sure to check it out. And since we've been working on the bus, we've met so many interesting people all around the Carolinas.
Last week, our school invited Hendrick Motorsports engineer Richie Parker to speak in honor of Black History Month. We got to sit down with him after to learn more about his inspirational story.
Fort Mill, please help me welcome our speaker, Mr. Richie Parker.
But a big part of why I'm here today and I want to talk to you all is just about challenges in general, right? You can see my physical challenge, right? I was born without arms, but everybody in this room, everybody that I talk to has some sort of challenge.
Best way to describe myself, man, I would say I'm me. I am unique, I think, in a lot of ways, but I try to be myself. I don't try to imitate anyone else. I don't try to put on any fronts. I'm just genuinely me. I grew up with close friends and family that my disability wasn't something that was made a big deal, right? I didn't realize I didn't have arms until I got around other people that weren't part of my close circle that made that known, right? And that's kind of how I lived my life, was just being normal. I was normal to my friends and my family, but obviously when trying to learn how to do certain things as as a young kid. Like, some things took a while to figure out. Embrace whatever you're going through, whatever disability you have. It will be a challenge for a part of your life, but it will become a strength if you embrace it. And you just got to stick with it long enough for it to make that transition.
I love how Mr. Parker doesn't see his disability as a disadvantage. He just accepts the challenge of doing certain things in a different way.
He always participated in fun activities as a kid despite his disability. And a new park opened in TKK that's helping more young kids do the same.
Reese is reporting from the park opening ceremony.
That's right, guys. A couple weeks ago, Evan took us to the all-inclusive park that was being built, and today is the grand opening.
Mayor, take it away.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
This is honestly my greatest day on the job. This is awesome seeing everyone come together for this awesome special moment. Basically, I've been looking for a home for this park. They reached out to Mayor O'Neill, who's obviously brought us on board. We went through the locations of potential parks and we landed on Trailhead, not only because of its popularity already, but accessibility on both sides from parking lots. It seemed like a no-brainer that this was the park we wanted to convert.
It's really nice that my students all have an inclusive place to play in the community, and it's one of the reasons we moved to Fort Mill, because we know that our community comes together for places like this.
Everything's got a purpose. It hits on all the different senses. The vibrant colors are going to hit your eyes. You've got the sound garden over there where you can play musical instruments. It's just cool that it really hits on all the senses.
Trailhead Park is the first all-inclusive park in York County, and with the help of the All Play Together Foundation, the city plans to continue its goal of creating spaces for children of all abilities to have fun together.
All future playgrounds that we build in the city are going to be inclusive playgrounds and look to convert some of our previous playgrounds into surfacing to make them more accommodating for kids, and hopefully people will be able to look back and say this was the day that, you know, the city of TKK and the community really took this serious.
Now, I know most of us may not get the chance to come play on this playground, but if you have a younger sibling or know someone who does, you may want to bring them here so you can check it out for yourself. Reporting for The Buzz, I'm Reese.
That's all we have for this week. Be sure to follow our social media for extra stories and updates of the weekly show.
Also, be sure to come to the gym tonight to support our Jacket athletes in their game against Nation Ford. Until next time, I'm Adam.
And I'm Andy. Have a wonderful weekend, Fort Mill. Perfect place for artists to... Oh my gosh, what is that? Is that going to stay on the whole time? Okay, it's kind of cool.
Looking towards another successful lacrosse season. Can I do that one more time?
Wes, you push up? You guys want to push the boys?
I talked to her some of... I talked to our ring.
Come on, Wesley, harder, back, push, push, push. Woo!